like there have been few games in history that have had the same impact as the God of War series. And this game, the new one, God of War Ragnarok, really takes everything to the next level, especially with the power of the PS5. But I think the story that they crafted in this sequel to the 2018 God of War really shines in many ways, especially with the character development of Atreus and his father. And there's so many things that I really enjoyed, but I feel like the story really shines. So today I'm going to analyze the God of War Ragnarok game and explain everything that I liked about it, and also analyze a lot of the technical aspects, because it is a really, I think it's a massive achievement in gaming. And without further ado, let's go check it out. So this story is a direct sequel set a couple of years after the first God of War, and I feel like it really does a great job with the character development. I feel like that is the greatest theme in the first and second God of Wars, is the development between Kratos and his son Atreus, which are the two main characters, and each one goes through their own journeys. Kratos is dealing with a lot of things from the first game, like for example the loss of his wife, which is not a spoiler by the way because it happens in the beginning. And Atreus has a lot of challenges to overcome as his son, as basically a god who is trying to train to become better than his father in order to survive in this dangerous world. So at the beginning of the game, we see basically also the plot of the story, which becomes Ragnarok. And for those who don't know, Ragnarok is basically this event in Norse mythology where basically Asgard is destroyed and there is a new beginning for a lot of people and a lot of gods in this world. And there's a lot of things about Norse mythology that I enjoyed about the game. And I think that's a really important point to appreciate, is that these two games really go full out in like Norse mythology themes. So basically the old games had this theme with Greek mythology. I've never played them, but now I really want to. But these two really have a lot of like references, characters, creatures, stories from like classic Norse mythology. They do a great job at representing them, and I think this game does the same, especially telling the story of Ragnarok and Loki and Odin and Thor. Basically, and also that we'll go into Odin later, but all these characters really play an important point, and they really play important roles in the story. So they're not like background characters. Each one is very developed from beginning to end, and that's something we're going to talk about more next. And also speaking about the setting, it is really beautiful. I feel like there was a lot of really great areas, especially through the 9 realms. And basically in the first God of War, we explore some of the realms, but not fully. So we see a little bit of Midgard and a little bit of, like the Elf realm and some others. But this one we get to explore others like the Dwarf realm, which we didn't get to see much in the first one. Muspelheim, which is this like lava-filled world where Surtur lives. I feel like each one has their own setting that is really well done. And it is something I really enjoyed. I took a lot of pictures in this game because I really enjoyed taking pictures inside of video games. And there are a lot of really great moments, but I really wish they would have launched with the photo mode already in, because we didn't get that until a couple of weeks later. So yeah, it's a beautiful game. From a graphical standpoint, it's also amazing. So it's really a landmark step where games are becoming more realistic, and it really kind of doesn't differ much from the other God of War, the 2018 one. So the graphics and gameplay don't differ much, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I don't think you have to reinvent the wheel for this game. The gameplay from the first God of War, well, I mean the fourth, technically speaking, the 2018 one, was really great, and I feel like it's a fun game to play. Like, it's just really fun. The upgrades for the axe and the game, like the way Kratos fights, is really well done and really intense, really fast paced. So it's kind of like Elden Ring and those kind of games where you have to be like on your, like really gotta concentrate, because you can get killed at any moment if you play in hard mode like I did. But also it lets you play at easier modes if you're just looking for the story, which is something I really appreciated. And the game just does a really good job with the gameplay aspects. I feel like that's something that didn't have to like expand much. It's basically kind of the same as the other God of War game, except that this one you unlock a new weapon, which is really, really awesome, like besides the swords and the axe. And that is something that is really fun in the later stages of the game. And also, apart from Kratos, you also get to play as Atreus for the first time, which I thought was phenomenal. I didn't expect to like Atreus at the beginning. Like, I mean, from the gameplay aspects, his character is obviously great. But over time, like, you start unlocking new upgrades, new abilities, and his character is really fun, which makes me kind of hoping that in the future we get to play more with Atreus as a main character. I feel like that would be awesome for the future of God of War, like having more abilities from him and really see where the story goes from there. So now onto the characters. I feel like this one just really takes everything from the other game and takes it all the way to 100. So what I mean by this is that Kratos and Atreus are much more mature. This game is set a couple of years after the first game, so Atreus is much more grown. He's more like a teenager now, and Kratos is like more experienced. He has had a couple of years to train him further, and their dynamic changes a lot. This is something I really appreciated because I don't feel like not many games really show the relationship between a son and a father, and this is something that the game does phenomenally. I feel like those kinds of relationships with like family, I think like family is also a big theme in this game, and that is something that the game does really well. The story just expands on these themes of, like living up to your expectations, your relationship with your son, your relationship with your father. These are all themes that really hit me in really powerful ways, and I feel like the game does a really good job, especially also like sibling relationships. There's two characters like named Brock and Sindri, which are great characters from the first one, and the relationship as brothers really gets expanded in this game too. So Brock and Sindri's relationship is also that I really enjoyed, and it's something that many people will appreciate if they have siblings, or they have people in their family that they have problems with, and they understand each other, and it does a really good job with those aspects. Among other characters, we also get Thor, which is like basically the main reason many people wanted to play this game. Many people were hyped for Thor, and him and other characters such as Odin really, really shine in this game. I mean, Odin is basically the main villain. I mean, light spoilers in the game, but I think he's a phenomenal villain. He's like this tyrannical being who controls all the nine realms, and people want to rebel against him. And Thor also gets a lot of really good character development. He starts off kind of as a bad guy, and over time his character becomes more and more nuanced, more complex, and his relationship with Atreus really shines in this game. So like some of the other side characters like Angerbroda, Thor's daughter, I feel like they really shine too as side characters, and like basically everybody really shines, especially some of the other main characters from the first game, which are Mimir and Freya. Also, like their characters get expanded a lot. So if you're just looking for a game that is really strong in its narrative, God of War Ragnarok really shines amazingly in all those departments. Especially because in this game, everybody, like the main characters, the side characters, all share a common goal, which is to basically like they fight a war against Odin, and they involve Ragnarok, and basically their like ethics and morals change over the course of the story. They basically go on several missions, and everything changes, and there's a lot of themes about prophecy and about fulfilling your destiny and other things, and also like challenging your destiny. So those parts were really amazing. I feel like every single character has something that they have to do in this story. Like everybody has a mission and a purpose in their life, and it really deals with really heavy philosophical and ethical themes. So God of War Ragnarok really shines in those departments. I really enjoyed it from beginning to end. It's just a really good game. I really enjoyed God of War Ragnarok a lot. I feel like it's one of the best games of last year, and it definitely is worth playing. So anyways, I'm gonna give God of War Ragnarok a 92 out of 100. It was just phenomenal. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, even people who are not gamers, I feel like they will really enjoy the story. And actually, there's gonna be an Amazon series on God of War, so that's gonna be really exciting because I've been watching the Last of Us series, and that is really proof that people can make adaptations of video games and also turn out really amazingly. So I'm really excited for that. And anyways, those were pretty much my thoughts about the game. It is just fantastic. And anyways, yeah, so that's everything for today, and I'll see you guys next time.